Good afternoon to you, dear viewers. Welcome back to this episode of the Youth Roundtable. My name is Douglas Onen, and this is Civic Space TV. Today, we are hosting aspirants of the Northern Uganda Youth Member of Parliament for the year 2026 to 2031, who will help us unpack and tell us the plans they have for the young people from Northern Uganda, but also what informs their race in these forthcoming elections for the position of Northern Uganda Youth Member of Parliament. So in no particular order, from my extreme left, I will introduce my guests and then get straight into the conversation. The gentleman who is suited in the regalia of the National Unity Platform, Mr. Humphrey, you're most welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. Greetings from the National Unity Platform and greetings from the People's President, His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. I look forward to the discussions. My name is Humphrey kikwiyakare, and I am championing the protest vote of the National Unity Platform in the Northern region as the Youth Member of Parliament.
Thank you very much. We shall get to understand why it's a protest vote
and
why exactly you're fronting that in the region. All right next to Mr. Humphrey kikwiyakare is Paul Acaye. No, Nobert Acaye. You're most welcome.
Good afternoon, dear viewers. My name is Opiyo Nobert Acaye from the newly born political party, People's Front for Freedom.
Is it not FDC? You switched.
When you mention FDC, FDC, we call it now a grumbling baby or a baby that is still crawling. We moved out of FDC because of our vision that we see that FDC cannot achieve for us. So we believe that People's Front for Freedom is what will take this country far, other than other political parties that are just here in the country to make noise and have show for us. I'm coming in for Northern Youth MP for different reasons that we as the PFF believe in. Okay. Thank you so much. Hope to share more.
Thank you. We'll get to understand those insights that the PFF represent and you as an individual represent in this race. The only lady in the show, but also the lady in the race, Miss Awach Elizabeth Shakira from Uganda People's Congress. You're most welcome.
Well, thank you very much. My name is Awach Elizabeth Shakira, not Awach.
Yeah.
It's Wacha.
Wacha.
Yes, Wacha. It's a Swahili word, implying that don't touch it.
Wacha.
Yeah. My name, as I've just told you, my name is Awach Elizabeth Shakira. I'm from the Mighty Party. We call it Mighty. The Mighty Party, Uganda People's Congress.
Interesting.
And also, thank you very much for hosting me here.
Thank you. We're going to get right straight into why exactly it's the UPC, but why exactly are you running for this race? Last but not least, the gentleman, Mr. Akena Victor. You're most welcome. You're from the National Economic Empowerment Dialogue.
Well, thank you very much, our host, my fellow panelists, and the youth who may have tuned in today to watch this very fruitful debate. Well, my name, as you already mentioned, is Akena Victor, a proud representative of the National Economic Empowerment Dialogue. And as we go into this race, one of our visions is the empowerment, inclusivity, and that is why I'm standing to represent the youth of Northern Uganda in Parliament, and I hope that maybe they'll give me their vote and entrust me so that I can front their need and make them part of the decision-making table. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm going to start this particular conversation from a very peculiar point of view. Unfortunately, our candidates from the National Resistance Movement weren't able to join us due to various reasons. Yes, they're gearing towards their primaries and they're very engaged in the field. But nonetheless, something that I think is going to inform this conversation, but also inform the why, is us to understand why are we choosing the umbrellas we have chosen. We have Humphrey from the National Resistance, from the National Unity Platform,
Unity.
Unity platform.
Exactly.
Yes, we have Nobert, you're from PFF, that is the People's Front for Freedom. Then we have Elizabeth from Uganda People's Congress, and my brother here from the National Economic
Need. The party we need.
Yes, the party we need. Now, all these political parties have an ideology that informs us as individuals. Allow me to start with you, Humphrey, just coming straight to where I'm seated in that order. The National Unity Platform. I don't know why the National Resistance Movement is sliding through my tongue, but apologies once again. The National Unity Platform is a party that is, of course, not so new on the block, but of course a party that in 2021 saw a wave in the central region. And in your introduction, you mentioned that you represent the protest vote. Let us understand the ideology of the National Unity Platform and why you think it's the best vehicle to represent the views of the young people in the Parliament of the year 2026-2031.
Oh, my brother, thank you so much.
Yeah.
The ideology of the National Unity Platform is so clear and loud, and it stands in our motto. Our power, people power. You get a point? So we believe that power belongs to the people. And we believe that power belongs to the people of the Republic of Uganda. We believe that the people of Uganda have the right to say no to what they do not want, and they have the right to say yes to what they want. I believe that the people of Uganda have the right to demand for justice. I believe that the people of Uganda have the right to demand for fair hearing at whatever cost. I believe that the people of Uganda have the right to demand for the development they deserve, the value for the taxes they pay. You get the point? So that is the ideology of the National Unity Platform. We believe that power, as enshrined in the Constitution, belongs to the people of Uganda. Because the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, 1995, clearly stipulates that power belongs to the people. And the National Unity Platform rises on that article, that power belongs to the people. They have the right to say, this is what we want in regards to social, political, and economic development. Power belongs to the people.
Okay.
Based on ideology, that is what we believe in. That we deserve the right, for example, if you go to Karamoja, basically, that if the people of Karamoja are blessed with minerals, with gold, the most expensive minerals on planet Earth, the power to those minerals belong to the people.
But you're cognizant of the fact that the Constitution, under the public trust doctrine that is enshrined not only in the objectives, but also in Article 237B, that says the government will hold those minerals in trust for the people. So how will that power then go to
exactly that a government cannot exist without the people. You understand?
All right, that's just a footnote that I wanted us to think about. But thank you. The ideology that power belongs to the people is what represents the National Unity Platform.
Exactly.
An idea that we shall interrogate further to also understand why exactly you are going for this race. But that will be underpinned on the challenges that you identify in the region that the young people of Northern Uganda, that your candidature intends to address. Let me get to you, Nobert. My brother mentioned that the National Unity Platform stands that on the idea that power belongs to the people. Let's understand the People's Front for Freedom, PFF, a new kid on block that of course emanated or stemmed away from the Forum for Democratic Change, of course with various reasons because of the internal political conflicts that they've had. Let's understand, what is the ideology of the PFF that informs your candidature for this race and the ideas that it represents, and why is it a vehicle that you pick to represent the people, the young people of Northern Uganda in this race?
Okay, thank you so much once again. First and foremost, I would love to start with our notion that free messaging. That's something that we have been fighting for a while if this government that is in power could grant our most able man and our most able revolutionaries the bail that we seek for, or the justice that we seek for, we as the PFF or the people of Uganda shall be proud, and I believe the whole world will be proud. Back to the conversation. PFF, as we all know, it's a political party that is new on the block after its transition from. I could say transition because I believe it's not even worth it to mention the other political party that we moved from. With the experience and the level of experience that our leaders have, because if you are to look at the most competent leaders in the country are from PFF, the likes of Elias Lukwago, the likes of Honorable Simon Uganda, is the man that stands for truth in the country. And if you are to look at our ideology, we believe in justice for all, democracy for all, and as our brothers from the National Unity Platform would say, power belongs to the people. That's something that we stand on as well. But however much there are different things that we demand, we believe that we as the PFF, we have a better vision for this country, because we have been fighting for the freedom of the people of Uganda for long, with other different political parties or under different umbrellas. But at this time, we believe that our vision as PFF, once we stand as PFF, as a political party, without other foreign interest or political interest from the opposition or from government, we believe that we can achieve better, because we have worked hand in hand with the different political parties or the different opposition political parties, unlike the national resistance movement that has been failing this country for over 40 years. It is evident enough that the people of this country have witnessed this. We the people of Uganda, gave them a chance or gave them power for 40 years. We don't know. It is actually evident that however much the president comes back in power, it is not justified how he gets those votes, because we believe that these votes are always rigged to make the man stay back in power. But nonetheless, that is not the case. This coming election, we are going to front a president. I believe by 29th of August, this exact month, we shall be knowing the president that we shall be fronting, and believe is for the best interest of the people. Yeah, thank you so much.
I thought the president you're fronting is Nandala Mafavi. But you are not obligated to answer that. Let me get to you, Elizabeth. Wacha. Uganda People's Congress, among the oldest parties in this country, with the DP, the Democratic Party. The ideology of UPC is something I would like you to discuss into detail, and why, and you tell us why exactly it's a vehicle that is best fitted to deliver the young people of the northern region when it comes to your candidature in Parliament 2026-2031.
Well, thank you very much. Uganda People Congress, it has its core values, the aims and its objectives. It's all based on the social principles. So when I talk about the social principles, we are looking at unity, just as we have our slogan that says, one people, one Uganda. You get it, eh? Implying that we believe that everyone, irrespective of the race where somebody comes from, irrespective of the political party, we are one. When we also then, another aim and objectives of Uganda People's Congress is democracy. Yes. And we believe that through democracy, the country we can achieve the best objectives of whatever we need. Yes. Because without democracy, we don't see anything valuable in the country.
All right. I will definitely hold you down to that when we're having this discussion and trying to understand the democracy that you front, but also there are certain internal conflicts that are happening within the party. There are court orders being released that your current president that is sitting is holding the position illegally, among others. So those are conversations we shall get into, but let me just hold you there and bring in my brother here. Victor, tell us, what does the party that you are picking to run for this race stand for, and why is it very important for the young people in the region?
Well, thank you very much. As I already mentioned, I'm a very proud representative of the National Economic Empowerment Dialogue, and our core vision is economic empowerment, financial liberation, inclusivity, and I can assure you that with all the discussions that we're going to have right now, when people begin mentioning the challenges that are being faced by the youth, you realize that 80% of them come from economic hardships, economic strains, and so NEED as a party realizes that when you solve the problem of the economy, when you empower people economically, when you liberate people financially, that solves 80% of our problems as Ugandans. For example, I can give you an example that when you look at statistics, almost 20% of youth from the age of 14 to 24 either are not into any kind of employment, they're not in school, and they're not experiencing any kind of training. So that means that in a few years they're actually economically doomed, and that's why you find that we have a high crime rate. That's why you find that we have corruption. That's why you find that people don't want to leave office. People go into politics for enrichment because we are economically broken.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just start with you now on that point. Having understood why we have all chosen the umbrellas we are standing under to represent the young people in northern Uganda, there are challenges that the North significantly faces as a region. Notably is we are ranked, I think, among the poorest in the country. Someone one time told me that that is just a mindset. We are not a poor region because we have a lot in abundance. We have land. It's the word poor, they just use it to curtail us to think that, yeah, we are actually, but we are not. But for purposes of this discussion, I want us to look at the challenges that we have identified that our manifestos intend to solve. And I would like to start with you, Victor. There are challenges that I believe you know are significantly affecting the northern region. I believe in your submissions you already talked about that your party looks at inclusivity, financial liberation, and economic empowerment. Among the challenges I would want to anticipate that you would mention is to do with poverty. And of course, when we get into what you're going to do, you're going to mention poverty alleviation. But let's start with the challenges. What are those challenges that you have highlighted that the region significantly is facing but needs addressing? The solutions, we shall get to that later, but let's start with those challenges. That is critical, that informs your race.
Well, thank you very much. I'll begin from where you started. You drew from your starting line. I'll begin from poverty.
Yeah.
That's the biggest challenge that we face as a country, and we as youth, you'll get to realize that more than 70%, actually, I would say 78%, of the population in northern Uganda are the youth. And then you'll also know that the northern region, to be specific, Acholi sub-region and Karamoja are one of the poorest regions in this country. And this poverty hasn't just come out of the blue, because when you look back in history, the North was not as poor as it is today. They had cattle. And during the days of pre-colonialism, when we had Emin Pasha using the North as a major trade route, Sir Samuel Baker came and established his fort in the North. The North was flourishing, but after colonialism, we had 20 years of insurgency, and that really affected us economically because, first and foremost, people were forced into internally displaced persons camps, and I can testify here that I speak from an eyewitness point of view because I grew up in an IDP camp. Yeah, so being in the IDP camps prevented us from being able to carry out economic activities. We lost cattle. Now it's very hard to find households with more than 20 heads of cattle in Acholi land.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that has really affected our economic growth. That's why we are really poor as a region. And as the host said, I'll look at the most practical solutions later. And then another of the issues we have is unemployment. We have a very high rate of unemployment, and as I already mentioned, statistically, 20% of the youth from 14 years of age, 24 years of age are unemployed, out of school, and not getting any kind of technical training. And also, the 20 years of the LRA insurgency puts in us a mindset that we started looking at work negatively, because growing up in the IDP camps, people were given everything by the government and organizations like the World Food Program, World Vision, Save the Children of Uganda. So people didn't have the zeal to work, and these people are still there till today. And actually, what hurts me the most is that our leaders gave up, and they actually tell us that is a wasted generation.
All right. Thank you.
It breaks my heart.
Two things that stand out among the challenges that you highlight is poverty and unemployment, something that I believe is not only a regional issue in the north, but also a national issue as well.
That's
but
very true.
considering that you are running for a race that will represent the people of the region, but of course when you're in parliament you become much more of a national leader. But for purposes of this particular segment of the discussion, I'm just interested in the challenges that you think the region or the young people are experiencing. Elizabeth, let's kind of put a gender lens to this conversation. Considering that you're a lady in this particular race, our region has significantly seen a rise in teenage pregnancies. Our region has seen a rise in, of course, considering I'm looking at from West Nile up to Karamoja, we have seen rise in teenage pregnancies, early marriages. Access to menstrual hygiene, to menstrual services is also on a decline. Putting gender lens to it, I just want your challenges to be more gender specific to the girl child.
Well, thank you very much. I have taken trouble to move to all the 4 sub-regions of northern Uganda. That is Acholi sub-region, Lao sub-region, West Nile, and Karamoja sub-region. And all those are the challenges I have witnessed. And I've also been in touch one-on-one with the cow cribs, the people who are undergoing such challenges. So I happened to get the girls, those ones who have dropped out of school, and those ones who also maybe got pregnant at a very tender age. So I've been able to interact with them, and I ask them quite a number of questions, because you cannot solve a given problem without you understanding the root cause of the problem and what are the ways you're going to put forth. First of all, you need to first understand, because all these girls, the different girls, they have different perspectives. Others right now, they see education like it's no longer anything valuable to them. But they feel when they are given skill-based trainings, it's okay for them. But some of them feels they can still engage in other activities like sports, and also because they have different talents. Yes. And of course, there are also different reasons as per why most of them drop out of school or get pregnant earlier. Some of them gave me their reasons as maybe pressure from home, in northern Uganda, the whole of, specifically within different grassroots, we still have our parents who still believe that they are able to invest more in a boy child than a girl child. So this creates gender inequality. Yes, some girls are just left to stay home. They're just abandoned and left to be home and do maybe house chores and maybe cultivation, because parents believe that with time they'll get married and leave home. But what I'm trying to do with these girls, it's I've started engaging them and putting them into groups. Yes. So these groups, first of all, I've started with savings. For you to show commitment that you are willing, let us first start with savings. Yes, because if you are in a saving group, it is very easy for me to also lobby for fund from somewhere else, and I always add on to what you have.
What is already existing.
Yes.
All right. You've just hinted on the solutions you're offering. We shall get into detail into that. But what I pick out from your submission in regards to challenges, which is, of course, gender-centric, here is the issue to do with high levels of dropout, early pregnancies, and what stands out is the high levels of gender inequality with a lot of discrimination against the girl child. Nobert, PFF has been a party that has commanded a lot of support in the region. Then FDC, now PFF, because of certain individuals. I'll put this on record that the Forum for Democratic Change was a significant force in the region in the earlier 2000s. And because of certain individuals that we're well aware of in the party, that is the likes of Dr. Kiza Besigye, of course, Mugisha Muntu, among other notable individuals that now also have their own political parties. But now still those individuals are in the PFF. A front that I would submit as an individual that will still have support in the region. And the idea that they presented or offered the people in the region was one that looks at, of course, economic empowerment. Besides economic empowerment, they are looking at peace in whole. But let's understand, what are the challenges that the PFF and you as an individual has identified that this candidature that you're launching or that you already launched intends to address? Let's understand those challenges for now. Yeah.
Okay. When you're looking at the challenges of northern Uganda, you have to first go back to our history and the things that we as northern Uganda went through. When we speak about northern Uganda, we do not speak of Acholi sub-region as one, but we speak of West Nile, Acholi, Lao, and Karamoja. These are regions that have that have been affected by the insurgency that we are all aware about. But to get straight to the point of the challenges that we as the PFF feel we could solve, or me as an individual feel that is greatly affecting us. One that we majorly look at is that we look at the climate and environment pressure. What do I mean by climate and environment pressure? When you look at northern Uganda, we have two different rainy seasons that people engage to plant maybe crops, keep their animals, and engage in various economic activities. But then if you are to look at it keenly, it is majorly drought affected. Now, how does this affect the youth of northern Uganda? How much the youth of northern Uganda try to invest on maybe their farms and their gardens, they are greatly affected by this drought, which causes food insecurity. Now, how do we look to solve this? Encouraging the youth to get involved in fast-growing crops during these seasons could be a solution to generate more income into their pockets and earn a living. So that's basically about the economic, the climate pressure. Then looking at the education, we should first accept that we as northern Uganda, the education system of Uganda is great. We all appreciate that. but then its implementation in the different regions. For example, in northern Uganda, I personally have moved to different UPE and USE schools in northern Uganda. If you are to look at the classroom blocks, if you are to look at the libraries that these children use to access the books that they read, and if you are to look at the nature of access to those different schools, it's really worrying. Last month, but one, I was in Pade district, whereby it is really worrying. The roads there, first of all, the roads that give access to the schools, it's really worrying. They are really worrying roads, because a child moves approximately 3 to 4 kilometers to access a school, whereby they will go and get whereby they will go to learn from. Then coming back, usually they come back at lunchtime, because the schools don't provide food. The schools in northern Uganda, most of them don't provide food. So they'll have to come back for lunch and then again trek the 3 kilometers. So every day approximately, in the morning, a child moves 3 kilometers. At lunchtime, 6 kilometers. Because to and fro, you go back home and eat. Those are 6 kilometers in the evening. So if you're to look at that, what I'm trying to look at is advocating for more closer schools in the northern Uganda communities.
Let's just hold on to the solutions that you're looking at, and look at the challenges that you've identified that your candidature intends to address.
Yes, basically that's about the education.
There are three challenges that you have highlighted. One, the climate and environmental pressure, which subsequently leads to the food insecurity.
Yes.
Then of course you've mentioned the education. Any other challenge that you significantly think your candidature has identified that intends to solve?
Yes. The other is the mental health issues of the youth of northern Uganda. Yeah. This is greatly caused by drugs, alcohol, and so many things. If you are to look at our youth of northern Uganda, most of them spend their morning hours in areas that we call trading centers. They come in the morning, they start drinking. Others, there are those green leaves that most of those youth love chewing. I think they call it, I don't know how they term it, but those green leaves that the youth keep chewing, they call it mira. And if you're to listen to the reasons they give you for chewing such things, that it keeps them alert to do what? Okay, if it keeps them alert, what does it make them do? What productivity does it give them? Yeah. And we are not seeing that. So that's something that we are hoping to look at, and we try to solve it. Okay. And then the other that is on ground, as previously you asked about the issues of the teenage pregnancy. If you are to look further during COVID-19, that's when the rate became so high and spiked up, because these were caused by the fact that everyone was at home. We were not at school. All the girls were at home. The boys were at home. So it caused a lot of intercourse among the youth, and the high pressures that usually our mothers or our parents be giving the young girls at home. It's really affecting them. If we could find a solution that curbs this as a region, whereby we do not give time to the ladies or to the young girls or to the men to be involving in unhealthy activities, but rather productive activities, I think this would be something that would greatly help our region, because our region is really, I could say our region is still suffering so much that it needs not only public attention, but exclusive and inclusive and productive government intervention, so that these issues can be tackled as a country, not as a region particularly.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. My brother Humphrey, we have listened to all the challenges, and my question now to you is going to be twofold as I come back to this side for the other round of the questions. Mention those challenges and the solutions that your candidature intends to solve. Those challenges that you have mentioned.
Yes, thank you so much, my brother Greg. At the National Unity Platform, we are, besides the protest vote, we are at the moment coming up with what is called an holistic approach for solving the Ugandan challenges that has been caused by this government, and perhaps others are historical. Now, northern Uganda spans right from Karamoja in the east to Acholi and Lango in the center, and to West Nile and part of the greater Alur community. Now, we believe that all these sub-regions have unique challenges that must be addressed with a lot of care. Okay, what works best for the Acholi people or for the Acholi community may not work best for the people of Karamoja. And what works best for the people of Karamoja may not work best for the people of West Nile. Now, in Karamoja particularly, you know, Karamoja is...
Doesn't that take away your holistic approach and go on more of specificity or the specific specific solutions for specific problems?
In an holistic approach,
yeah,
we are not trying to look at the specific, we are trying to look at every bit of everything with a lot of keenness. You get a point? Okay, we are not trying to go with bandwagon and say, give the people of Karamojong's iron sheets. That's not their problem. You get a point? The problem of Karamoja is not the iron sheet. You understand? So now, when you look at Karamoja particularly, you know, Karamoja's sub-region has what we call both historical and current problems or challenges. One, you realize that those who have tried to follow the history of Uganda, Uganda became a protectorate in 1894, okay, by the British. And then about 17 years down the road, that's when Karamoja sub-region was also incorporated into the protectorate. You understand? That clearly and historically means Karamoja was behind the current Uganda by 17 years down the road. So as the rest of the other parts of the protectorate, the Buganda, were being introduced into the money economy by the British, Karamojongs were behind. You understand? So that really gives the people of Karamoja so many disadvantages that we can't take them speedy. These guys need to be handled with a lot of care. Now, you will understand that geographically as well, the people, Karamoja is desert or semi-desert. You understand? So these guys have a lot of challenges. But God gave them mineral resources. You understand? So that if a government comes and the government is pro-people, then the government would use those minerals to address the problem. But surprisingly, the people of Karamoja, the children of Karamoja, are the ones begging in the streets of Kampala. They have a very low enrollment at school. The children have a very low enrollment at school. And worse still, even the low people who have enrolled at school, they have a very low retention rate. There's an NGO in Karamoja called Act Alliance. They publish a report that says 68% of the young children of Karamoja cannot read and write. And surprisingly, by the way, these are the young people, these are the youth. Few years down the road, they will be the youth, and we'll be debating about them. So now, you cannot rate the young people of Karamoja with the people of Central Uganda or with the people of Acholi, even if we belong in the same one, same sub-region, the same region. Two, that shows you how bad the education there. And without education, the whole society is dead. So when we come again straight, leave alone the insecurity, that those are obvious things that every young man will come and talk about. Insecurity is there, it is holistic. When you come to the Acholi sub-region, Acholi and Lao sub-regions, these two sub-regions suffered the northern Uganda insurgency for about 20 years. You get a point? The young children, people were brought into IDP camps. And trust me, by the way, I can confidently say 90% of the youth of Acholi and Lao sub-region were the products, were the children who were born in the IDP camps. They do not understand whatsoever the culture of the Acholi people. They do not understand the culture of the Langi people. And these are the current youth. You understand? So culturally, they are degraded. They do not understand. So that is where the problem is coming from. That's why my brother was trying to tell you how is the mental status of the young people there. They have resorted into alcoholism. Those are things that we used not to do. My brother, when you come to the education, maybe you're a plant kid, but me, in our days, when in our days when I used to go to primary schools in P1 and P2 there, I remember the teachers who were doing what is called art and craft. We would be, we would go home and make a mortar and pestle and take to school, and the teachers would mark us. And at the end of the day, perhaps some teachers would buy those things. You understand? But now, the current challenge at the moment is that the current government, the government of the NRM thinks you should first fail academically, then you can enroll for vocational school. That is where the problem is coming from. That's why we at the National Unity Platform, we are coming this time around with a very different approach. You do not have to first fail in secondary school, then you come for what? For vocational skilling. Yeah. So you understand? That's why most people are going to say, oh, there's a lot of dropout cases now, we have to give them skill. That is wrong. Do not allow the problem to first emerge, then you look for the solution. Work through as someone grows. Now, when you go to West Nile, there is a clash between the Madi people of West Nile and the Acholi people of Nuoya and Amoro. And who are the people who carry the pangas to come and fight? They are the young people, but who are the big people behind them? They are the elders, you understand? So now, the current challenge is that the insecurity among the Acholi and Madi people is being fueled by the elders of this country. You understand? So now, those are the challenges we have. But the young people, we really have a lot of things to do. And secondly, you realize that when the government of Uganda discovered the oil, you understand? When you read the report of the World Bank, okay, I'm going to share with you guys. When you read the report of the World Bank, the Telenga project identifies 3 districts, Noya, Bosia, and Oima, as oil-rich regions. You understand? And through that discovery, the government of Uganda went to the World Bank and asked for about, I think, 136 million US dollars. You understand? Of that money, I think 90 million of it maybe was supposed to be used for building infrastructures, the road network across those districts. You understand? Those 3 districts, to help maybe the young people to engage in businesses here and there. But I'm interested in the 25 million US dollars. That was meant for skilling the young people, to prepare them for the job market that would come along with the exploitation of the oil and everything, and mining and everything like that. But you will trust me, my brother, if you read that report carefully, Noya district in Acholi sub-region in northern Uganda was technically knocked out. You understand? Was technically knocked out in everything. You can read the report. Was technically knocked out. So right now, the government is focusing on Oima, the oil city. You understand? They have named Oima the oil city. But oil was discovered in 3 districts. Noya in Acholi, Bosia, and Oima. So why then leave Noya out of it? And surprisingly, of the 25 million US dollars, a portion of it was supposed to help in the establishment of a new skilling institute, a vocational institute in Noya. 2 were supposed to be upgraded. The one of Kichwamba, Uganda Technical College, Kichwamba, was supposed to be, upgraded to fit, the demand, the skills that come along with the oil exploration and everything. Yeah. So one was supposed to be that of Chigumba. But Noya was supposed to have a new training institution, vocational institution, that was supposed to be built. Perhaps that way, first and foremost, you know what comes with development? So many young people would have been employed and been skilled and everything. So those guys have been technically knocked out. So that's why we are coming and saying, we at the National Unity Platform, we are coming with a protest vote. Because we know what has been given to us, but we have been denied. Besides that, in the last election, we can confidently say we won that election. We brought that victory home, but we were denied.
I see the energy you have there, but let me just hold you and we go for a short break.
Thank you.
You have highlighted passionately the challenges that are spanning from the Karamoja sub-region down to West Nile. But when we come back from the break, I'll quickly start with you and then run through this side to give us the solutions. You have given us a justification of the protest vote, the holistic and specific challenges in those various sub-regions. Now I want to understand, why are we running for this office? Why are we running? What are the solutions we intend to offer to the young people of the region? We know, cognizant of the fact that, yes, the region is experiencing challenges that not any other region is akin to. We have very unique challenges that we are facing as a region. So what are the solutions that our candidature on this panel intends to offer to the young people of the region? This is the Youth Roundtable. Douglas Onen is my name. See you in a bit.
Digital rights are those human rights and legal rights that allow individuals to access, use, create and publish digital media or to access and use computers, other electronic devices and telecommunication networks. Digital rights include a right to freedom of expression, information and communication through technology, a right to privacy and data protection, a right to credit for personal works, a right to universal and equal digital access, a right to identity, a right to anonymity, a right to be forgotten, and a right for protection of minors, among others. The state's digital rights are frequently violated through various unfair actions, for example, blockage of websites and social networks, theft of credentials, unauthorized use of people's data for personal gain, privacy intrusion, online censorship, arrests and intimidation of online users, internet blockages, and the proliferation of laws and regulations that undermine the potential of technology to drive social, economic, and political development worldwide. It is hence every citizen's responsibility to respect rights of other digital users and to speak out or report to the responsible parties when one's rights are violated.
Hello there once again. Welcome back from that short break. My name is Douglas Onen. This is the Youth Roundtable and Civic Space TV. As on the first half of the show, as introduced, being joined by aspirants for the position of the Northern Uganda Youth Member of Parliament from the National Unity Platform by the gentleman Humphrey, joined by a gentleman from PFF, People's Front for Freedom, that is Nobert Acaye, but also the lady from Uganda People's Congress, Miss Elizabeth Wacha. Last but not least, of course, as introduced, we are joined by Akena Victor. And we are discussing challenges, specific challenges that the region is experiencing from their point of view, and why exactly they are why they are running under the umbrella that I've mentioned, and two, the challenges that they have identified that and they intend to solve. And in this half of the show, I want us to delve into having discussed those challenges. Humphrey, you are passionately talking about the challenges that you have identified in the Karamoja sub-region, Acholi and Lao, and then later on West Nile. And then you gave us a justification of why the protest vote. In this half of the show, I want the conversation now to solely focus on what are the solutions that your candidature for this race intends to solve. Why must the region rally behind you and give you their protest vote to represent their view?
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much, my brother. Having discussed and dissected the challenges that are facing our region as Northern Uganda, like I told you, that at the National Unity Platform, we are trying to look at the holistic approach. I'm going to start with Karamoja still. Karamojong's, when I read their story, it pains me as a youth. Seeing the people of Karamoja blessed with huge deposits of minerals, and above all, gold, the most expensive mineral on planet Earth. Yet seeing the people of Karamoja, the one begging in the streets of Kampala. That should give every people of Karamoja, everyone of Karamoja, every young man a reason to cry. Now, because you cannot have goals and then you sleep hungry. We are trying to use, at the National Unity Platform, you need to agree that we believe in the four main roles of a member of parliament. Number one, which is legislation. Number two, which is the representation. Number three, which is the budget approval. And number four, which is an oversight. And whatever I am going to do as a member of parliament will circulate about those four roles, which has been enshrined in the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. Now, in terms of legislation, I want to use, and that is what the National Unity Platform will believe in. We want to use what the people of Karamoja have to solve their problems. You get a point? Number one, we have all agreed that one of the problems of the people of Karamoja, or one of the challenges the people of Karamoja are facing, is poverty. But the people of Karamoja have minerals, okay? And then I think, I'm not very sure with that provision in the law of this country, that I think says 3% of the mineral wealth, when we discover mineral wealth in your sub-region, 3% is supposed to be given back to for the development of your place. That percent is too small. Okay? That percent is too small. And perhaps also, it provides that money is supposed to be given to the district local government accounts in every financial year. That approach is equally wrong. What I am going to advocate for, number one, is that the percent should be increased from 3 to 25%. Okay? From 3 to 25%.
But Humphrey, how is that visible? According to the Minerals, the Minerals and Mining Act, you realize that as a country, we do not have the resources to ideally invest in mining expeditions. So investors come in with an interest at heart. So how is 25% a feasible figure, considering someone is putting in their money to retrieve those minerals?
That is a very brilliant idea. Then why must we engage in something we do not have the capacity for? Because at the end of the day, we cannot be blessed with minerals, and just because we're excited to exploit it, then we enter into business deals that we get nothing out of it. Whatever we have is going to the investors. And that's where the problem is coming from. And that's the same challenge with the Telenga project. You realize that the government of Uganda is just a petty watchman in that capacity, because the investors are put in a lot of things, a lot of their resources, and they are literally taking away everything out of it. So if we do not have the capacity, let us go with what we can manage as a country for now, as we set a vision. Because Uganda is not going to die tomorrow. Why must we, because of excitement, think that whatever we have in this country belongs to us? What about the next generation? Let us do what we can do now to prepare for the next generation as a country. That is the approach at the National Unity Platform. Because we cannot enter into business deals and then everything is taken away. Because we have these resources. So that is number one. That shows you the problem we have. So if the percent is increased from 3 to 25%, that money or that wealth, the income, the profits that would come out of the 25% should be given directly into community empowerment projects for the people of Karamoja. That is number one. When you look at the education, the classrooms in Karamoja, you can't believe, my brother, that a government has been in power for over 45 years, for over 40 years, and still, that is what we have in Karamoja. But these people have the goals. So you understand? So we just have a wrong approach to solving the problem of Karamoja, and that is what the National Unity Platform is coming to address. Number two, the people of Karamoja have a lot of cattle. Why then not advocate for the establishment of a beef processing plant in Karamoja, so that the people of Karamoja use what they have to empower themselves? I would love to see the people of Karamoja converting the huge herds of cattle they have into beef, and maybe perhaps exporting it out of the country. That's what we have. But what do we have now? Nothing. You understand? Instead, we are giving them iron sheets. Iron sheets are not the problem of people of Karamoja. Their problem is not accommodation. We are just having what is called wrong approach. You understand? So that gives you the people. That one will empower the people of Karamoja economically. That one will, because when someone is empowered economically, my friend, the person can do wonders. You get the point? Number two, what about the education system? The education system, as my brother said, is good, but then the people of Karamoja need what we call an affirmative action towards the education. You understand? If the cutoff points, because the first thing I'm going to do when I get to Parliament is what? We have what is called the government sponsorship scheme and government everything, where it is given randomly. We need to decentralize this thing. You cannot subject a young student from Karamoja to compete with someone in Tari schools. That's impossible. That is impossible. These guys deserve what is called an affirmative action. If Makerere University is admitting students for medicine and surgery with maybe 20 points, why not give the people of Karamoja 10 points? You understand? Because that becomes the affirmative action when you empower the people of Karamoja education-wise. You are addressing the people, their challenges. But we are subjecting these people who historically they're already late to compete with us who so light so many years before them. You understand? Okay. So that is the one. Secondly, wait just a minute. So when
summarize, because we're
okay, I'm summarizing. Yes. So secondly, when you come to the Acholi sub-region, my brother, poverty strikes everywhere. We must advocate and demand that what was meant to be constructed in Woya the money is already here in this country, but we have deliberately diverted the money. That money must come back to for the construction of vocational institute in Nwea to empower the young people of Nwea as far as what mineral exploitation is concerned. Secondly, I want to strike back into the National Youth Council. My brother, the National Youth Council at the moment is entirely NRM dominated. I want to go to Parliament and advocate and propose for a bill to amend the National Youth Council Act that says instead of having young people elected through the electoral colleges of which is entirely NRM, why not then have the legal and active political parties of this country get represented by equal number of young people, so that these young people, when they get there, they form what is called the National Youth Parliament, which has to be institutionalized, so that what we are doing now, we go there, sit, debate. If we say we are going to debate twice a week, we go and debate twice a week. That's how you are going to understand the brilliant ideas of the young people. Let me tell you something, guys. We must agree that we still have young people who can shape this country. They are there. But all they need is to be empowered. You understand? Secondly, lack of information is the biggest challenge in northern Uganda. Right now, there are so many government programs that are running on, but young people are not aware. For example, we have what is called the National Reservation Scheme that says every district, every government entity, every government parastatal, 30% or 15% of their procurement must be given to the young people. So if you are a youth, you can form companies. When you form companies, you go and request to be given a contract to supply what you can supply, to do works, what you can do, or to offer services that you can offer. But are the young people aware? This should have predominantly been the role of a member of parliament for the young people to go and inform them that, hey guys, but the government has come up with ABCD. This is what is expected of you. Please go register a company, form a group, go to your district. Right now, that program is running on. It started with this current financial year. But are the young people aware? If you go to my village there in Pade, you hardly see a young man having a company. And I'm sure you can ask sample us here. We don't have. So that's where the problem is. If the leaders who have risen up to stand for the young people are equally not that informed, what about he or she who is deep in our villages? So, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell the young people of northern Uganda, spanning from Karamoja, Acholi and Lounge sub-region to Aluru community, straight to West Nile, that you need to vote for Humphrey Kikwiyakare as your youth member of parliament come 2026 to 2031, so that we do the representation you want, so that we do the legislation you want, so that we do the oversight you want. Because there are so many things that are going on. Maybe if I talk of just the oversight, when you saw Balaam there in West Nile, in Ajumani, trying to advocate, trying to campaign for Moses Ali, I think somehow, somewhere in the process, he called the district community development officer to show how the young people have been given money. And the gentleman was reading groups. Perhaps, I don't know whether they existed. The young people were almost threw him out of the stage. So Balaam promised that he's going to make a follow-up. So many things are happening there that need a lot of oversight. We need to follow up. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Passionate submission. No, but I don't know if you also be fiery like like Humphrey. Let's understand your solutions to the problems that you highlighted in terms of climate and environmental pressure, food insecurity, education, the mental health challenges, and of course early pregnancies.
First and foremost, I feel very sorry for my brother here for the National Unity Platform. He's a very intelligent man, but I feel he's in a very wrong party, because the ideology of the party, however much it may want to solve the problems of northern Uganda, it has been evident that the ideology of this so-called National Unity Platform that my brother is in, their ideology focuses mostly in Buganda sub-region. And I think the first thing that I want to do is advocate for my brother to come to the PFF, because such an intelligent mind cannot stay in a very incompetent party.
Those are your words.
Yes, these are my words. Because and don't be surprised when such an intelligent mind is denied the party flag. Do not be surprised. And my brother Humphrey, come 29th, we still have chance. Do not come to contest as a Northern Youth Member of Parliament against me in PFF. But then I believe your vision bigger than the ones of the national of a Northern Youth Member of Parliament. You can come and pick a form under PFF as a Member of Parliament, as a full MP of those regions in Northern Uganda. And I believe we shall be very appreciative to welcome him under PFF because I don't believe the National Unity Platform has the vision for Northern Uganda. Anyway, let me get back to the point of discussion. Earlier on, we talked about our education system in Uganda. I am among the exposed youth in this country because I studied among the best schools actually the best school in Kampala. That's Bishop Spiana Changire SS. It's actually the best school in Kampala. I have been exposed to a number of technologies. I have been exposed to good quality education. I have been exposed to good teachers. I've been exposed to various access to educational resources. Now, if this is the scenario that we have in Northern Uganda, the people of Northern Uganda, first of all, they lack the adequate educational resources. For example, the books in the library, as I said earlier on, the quality of the teachers in Northern Uganda. Mind you, we may accept that the teachers may be of quality, but how do they handle? Because a youth that studies in Kampala, the same focus and attention that we give to a teacher is far much different from a youth from, let me say, from Erute, maybe in Lao. That same youth cannot give the same focus that a youth of Kampala will give to that good quality teacher that is given to them. Now, I think the first thing that I want to eradicate for is that, or I want to advocate for is that, however much these teachers the good quality teachers are given to the schools in Northern Uganda, are these teachers taught on how to handle the nature of the people of Northern Uganda? How do these teachers deal with the different problems that most of our children face? Because at times they send teachers that are well versed with English. However much you come to Acholi, a number of us are not so well versed with speaking English, but then you're bringing teachers who speak English strictly. However, okay, we know the education system is officially in English, but how can we mediate or how can we interject between the learning children or the learning pupils that are trying to that have advanced from the nursery section to the primary to fit in the system that we are trying to advocate for? That is first. And then the access to technology in Northern Uganda. We have seen the different telecommunication companies come to Northern Uganda, but how accessible is that network? How affordable is that network that can enable the children or the pupils or the students do their research in their free time? That is something that we should also advocate for. If these guys can give maybe relevant offers to the youth of Northern Uganda or to the schools in Northern, but okay, particularly they cannot give to the youth, but if they can give to the schools that are supporting Northern Uganda, like monthly bundles at an affordable price to the schools, maybe the government schools, the private institutions, that would be something great that could enable these children have such access to better education through technology. And then once I get into a seat, because which I believe at that time our president is going to come from PFF, we shall try to work hard and make sure that the education system that is Northern Uganda, it is something that is valuable. As my brother said, that there's no way you can make a youth who has studied in Intari, a youth who has studied in Bishop Spiana Changire, a youth who has studied in maybe SMAC, to compete with a youth who has studied in Layibi SS or Layibi College, to come and compete.
I would like to debunk that submission as a student who studied in Layibi College.
No, it is however much you might
but
have said.
I understand your point. Your point is in terms of looking at the quality.
Yeah, the quality of education,
Yeah.
the balance between the quality of education, how the education is provided.
The delivery process.
Yes, how the education is. Okay, Layibi College, some may compete, but then it is still lacking. As earlier on you say that maybe your fund also looks at the foundation of how your foundation from the nursery to to that secondary school
Yeah.
also matters a lot. As I said earlier on, we need to work in a way that there is an adjustment that is made to accommodate a youth who is from the northern region with poor education system, with very poor inaccessible roads to the schools. How can we mitigate that factor? And at least if we can put that region as a special interest region, as the government says the youth is a special interest group, let us make that region a special interest region, specifically to bring up the education system and try to make schools closer to the different communities. We can say approximately maybe 3 villages can be having 1 school. That is affordable. But there's no you can say over 50 villages are having 1 school and children are having difficulty in access to those schools. Then the other thing is that there's a grant that the government gives the government institution. I think either it's 4 million per year or 4 million per term. If you have to look at that money, first of all cannot sustain the school administration. I think that grant has to be increased in a way that it facilitates even the children, whereby government should be providing free food to the children in government schools. Why would you make a child come back for lunch from home? Yet government is seeking for grants from foreigners to make sure that people have a good education. Yeah. So that's basically it about the education system. Now, when we go to the mental health issues of the youth of northern Uganda, I really worry a lot about my fellow brothers and sisters in northern Uganda. As I said earlier on, you find a very able youth who is too productive, waking up very early in the morning, going to those trading centers, taking a lot of drugs. I could say in the morning they do not do the smoking or the what, but you find them having alcohol, not this kind of beverages whereby we call the beers and the what. They have those hard drinks. There are those drinks like excess, vodka, adricos, such drinks.
The ones in circuits.
Yeah, those. I'm actually very happy that in Acholi sub-region,
we did away
with the circuits. But now there are those ones in small bottles. Now imagine a youth who has woken up in the morning, taken adricos, taken excess, taken high five, taken rivella, such kind of drinks. How his performance will be during the day, right? Looking at that. Now that greatly affects his mental health in a way that there's nothing productive that child will do during that day. Apart from maybe when he's tired of sitting at the center, he's going to go back home and sleep. Now that is something that we are trying to eradicate.
So you're killing all your productive years in drinking.
Yes. Now leave that aside. By going back to sleep in the evening, you're sure that I'm going to come back and I start chewing those green leaves called the mira, meaning the day is done. But particularly you go back home in the night, meaning you as a youth, maybe a youth with family, you have not provided for your family, you have wasted your time in the center, and you have killed the whole day being non-productive. So what I'm trying to see and advocate for, I think the rates of alcohol, no, I don't even think the rates of the alcohol rate should be reduced in the country. I think we should adopt the Rwandan way of style, whereby
you drink.
Yes, there's a particular time for drinking, and there's a particular time when the bars close. So I think that's something that the government should adopt in this country.
That's extremely radical, considering that we're a night economy.
No,
but that's
for businesses that try. But anyway, as you wind up on
if you had to compare the nature of the youth, okay, we may face the same problems, but the youth in Rwanda and the youth in Uganda, particularly northern region, with the nature of the alcohol control in Rwanda as compared to the ones in northern Uganda, I think once the government adopts that in the country, our youth are going to be better. Many may not disagree with this, but this is for the good of the youth. Productivity is for us all. If we cannot control it as we, the youth ourselves, then our productivity will be killed. And then on the issue of environmental pressure, climate and environmental pressure, you have seen my senior, that's Honorable Dongoto, and Gilbert Olanya. For long they have been fighting on the issues of cutting down trees in northern Uganda, particularly in Acholi sub-region, the charcoal burning and so on. Now, they were telling us that in the future, you people of Acholi, you are going to suffer because of the increased rate of drought that will come in. And this is now evident. Right? It is evident, which has caused food insecurity. The crops that maybe the youth are planting, it is greatly being affected by the drought and the prolonged drought in the region. This has caused food insecurity. Many of the youth cannot provide sustainable management for their families. Because if you look at a youth in Northern Uganda, a youth of my age in Northern Uganda could be having 2 children. It has been evident enough with the issues of the teenage pregnancies that has been happening. Now, how do I provide for my children? Yet there is prolonged drought in the region and causing economic decline or ways of getting money in our pockets. So I think in regards to that, I would have to encourage my fellow youth that however much we should accept that there's prolonged drought, but let us try to plant maybe crops that are sustainable enough that could fit in the region.
Okay.
Yeah, like Sim and so on could fit and give us some money. But then once you grow those crops, do not have the mentality of they actually would say that like
if I pick it from the garden, then just take it straight
to sell. I think that's not the best solution. However much that you plant and sell those crops, at least keep some in the store to sustain your family.
All right.
Then just my last point on the issue of I talked about the teenage pregnancy earlier on. To protect our girls, I'm not going to talk so much about the teenage pregnancy, but I want to talk about the menstrual hygiene of our young girls in Northern Uganda. I've been in Karamoja, particularly Karamoja, and there's a scenario that happened at a time whereby the girls were using soil to soil as I could say as a padding equipment, because they
even in Busoga,
yes, yeah, even in Karamoja it happened, even in Acholi subregion it happened, whereby soil was
still happening anyway.
Yeah, it's still happening, whereby soil is being used as something that can solidify or help in the menstrual hygiene of a girl. We don't think that is the best solution for our ladies, of our young girls in the country. One of the things that I want to continue doing, I have been in a Pad the Girl campaign that I remember we did one in Karamoja, we did one in Buikwe, we did another in Acholi subregion, and I would love to encourage more partners to come in. If you know you're not going to come and support me as a person who aims for this, get those other. I'm sure there are very, very passionate youth in the country that are running these initiatives. The partners should come and support them. Government should come and support them. If government cannot provide this equipment freely, let the partners come in and support these young girls who are running these campaigns. Yeah. That's basically it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please, I kindly request to interject. There is something very important he has just said, and allow
60
me
60 seconds.
60 seconds. Yeah, thank you so much. This one I want to talk to the people of the Republic of Uganda, because my good friend here has just raised that point. You know, the government is trying to use people like my good friend here to spread a propaganda that the National Unity Platform is a Buganda thing. But I want to ask
60 seconds.
Yes, please. I want to ask ourselves one question. Even God himself, we are a Christian country, even God himself spent 6 days to create the universe. And on the 7th day, he rested. What is wrong with the National Unity Platform starting in Buganda and spreading to the rest of the country? If it started in Buganda, now I am a candidate from Northern Uganda. What is wrong with that? So this narrative that the National Unity Platform is a Buganda thing is just a propaganda of the state to deter the people of Uganda from embracing the change they want. People power, our power.
All right. I think
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Let's first have a
30 seconds.
Okay.
First and foremost, I want to make this very clear to the people of Uganda is that PFF is an opposition party. When my brother from the National Platform says that the government is using us to do such kind of propaganda, I think is very wrong. If you are to look back,
That is a narrative that has been created.
if you are to look
This
back,
debate is not going to
It is a narrative that has been created
just
so that people like you can use, and then you contaminate the people of Uganda.
as I
But as
conclude,
National Unity Platform and as the people of
Humphrey,
Uganda,
Humphrey.
will fight for our power.
Humphrey.
as I conclude in regards to this,
Yeah.
the CDF of this country, there's a time he came out clearly that Bobby Wine was our project to bring him in the system.
That is propaganda. That is the narrative they create so that you believe it.
Okay,
Let
us hold this
Moderator,
conversation.
we need to
there.
make that very clear.
Today,
Because that is what has
Humphrey,
been pinching the people of
in
Uganda
this
so much.
conversation, in this
Exactly.
conversation, talk about your race.
Exactly, it is our race,
yes,
and I belong
let's-
to the National Unity Platform.
It's okay.
We will not
I'll
accept
be happy to
anything that
welcome
will
you.
derail
All
the
right.
people of Uganda from fighting for their
When
power.
you
It's
deny
okay,
the ticket,
guys.
welcome to PFF.
Gentlemen.
I am already nominated candidate of the National Unity Platform.
All right, gentlemen.
Thank
Let's have Elizabeth. Elizabeth, solutions to the problems that you earlier on highlighted.
Well, thank you very much. Initially, you were very strict to only
Yes, you can.
teenage pregnancy, and
But you can give us your entire.
I was specific to teenage pregnancy initially, but nevertheless, I also have other grievances that I feel it needs to be worked upon.
Yeah.
First of all, in the past, northern Uganda as a whole used to have what we call cooperative societies. So these cooperative societies were put in place whereby they were in charge of regulating the prices of agricultural produce, and it was also an avenue for the young people, the youth. They could produce their agricultural products from the gardens, and they were sold to these cooperative societies. And among these were also, I could talk about, there is a structure we call Lera Spinning Mill. It is where remember, northern Uganda was basically known for production of coffee, for production of cotton. rather.
Yeah.
So cotton was the major source of crops, a commercial crop that
Cash
crop that was grown. But currently, as I talk, all these houses which were used in the past, they are now vacant. Even the machineries are no longer there, and yet this would be an avenue for the employment of youth. Leave alone that, when I look at the infrastructural developments that are taking place in northern Uganda currently, to mention but a few, maybe road constructions, and even let me also give an example of the construction of Akibwa Stadium that it's ongoing. You get to realize that in a scale of 10, you get to realize that the youth within northern Uganda, when I merge all the 4 sub-regions, they are Choli, Lango, Karamoja, and West Nile, you realize that in a scale of 10, we don't even have even 2 of our people who have been employed there as youth, professional youth. Yet within the country, universities like Makerere, Chambogo, Gulu University, to mention but a few, they're producing professionals each and every time. But why can't these contracts be given to our very local people? I've been in Tanzania and other parts of the world when such projects or contracts have been given, the local people are valued first. But this is a different thing with Uganda. Now, this is the major source to underemployment and unemployment among the youth. Me specifically, I'm a sports scientist by profession, and still in my field, when I look at the different regions within Uganda, the eastern region, Central and Western, you will get to realize that Northern Uganda is still lagging behind in terms of us having professional sportsmen. The majority are still playing amateur sports because we are not having the professional people going down to the grassroots like it's being done in other regions to promote sports. Yet, Northern Uganda being the region with a lot of resources, a lot of natural resources, we could use some of these resources when taxed to help us support some of those sports, the different sports academies, and we bring them up because not everyone within the region might study. But once your talent is identified, such a child can really produce something better. Now, let me give just an example of this churn which is ongoing. It was because of FOFA-DRAM, which was uniting people from different regions. And the scouts were able to identify most of these good players that we are seeing. That was the channel. But currently, as I talk, FOFA-DRAM is nowhere. We don't see FOFA-DRAM anywhere. And we don't see, yes, much as we are really, we the sports professionals, we are trying our best to put down some academies within Northern Uganda, but still, with our own energy, we need the government to come in and also help us put other better infrastructures within the grassroots. Not specifically them putting these infrastructures within. Yes, somebody might come up and tell me, but Akibwa Stadium has been constructed. Well, yes, I believe it is being put in place. But Akibwa alone, it's not enough. Does not serve all the 4 sub-regions of Northern Uganda effectively. Then, leave alone that, I want also to zero down to the grassroots. Much as the government has advocated that rural electrification is being put in place, but not all the districts, the interior districts have received this rural electrification. I've moved to schools which are still using solar. The education system right now, it's tending to having more of practicals than theories. And yet, some of these equipments needs electricity. Just when you go deep in, let me give an example. When you go down there in Kole, there are areas which do not still have electricity. I have moved to Acholi land, part of Amoro. There is area of Alelelele and the rest. Still, you will get to realize that there are areas without electricity. I have taken trouble to move deep into Pade. I have gone to West Nile, those ends of deep inside Koboko. There are areas without electricity. And yet, the government is advocating for quality education. So this needs to be put in place. It has to be put right. Still, when I also look at insecurity, we, the youth, we are really facing challenges to do with insecurity. I happened to travel to Aleptong for my campaigns, and the policemen and the soldiers who were supposed to give us security, they were the ones who were firing firearms and tear gas on the local people. We had quite a number of people injured. We have seen political parties like People Power and other political parties when they go into the streets to look for votes. But still, we see people being killed. And yet, we are basing on the ideology that one Uganda, one people. So me, as the upcoming Northern Youth MP, I stand to advocate for the rights of the people of Northern Uganda. I stand to advocate for social justice and let the people of Uganda receive what is right for them. Right. Number 2, on the side of education, I aim to push and advocate for extra funding towards the youth projects and let there be money allocations. Let there be increase in money being allocated to the different schools, because when you move, remember the whole of the entire northern Uganda, the population is, people are sparsely populated. Yes, much as the government is saying we are putting schools in every sub-county, but in northern Uganda, when you go to Karamoja, go to West Nile, go to Lamu sub-region, go to Acholi sub-region, you'll get to realize that to move from one sub-county to the other sub-county, it's a long way. It's almost 5 kilometers. Why can't there be increase in the number of government schools and also technical schools to skill up our people within the northern Uganda? Then, still, now I want to also handle issue to do with health. Yes, when I'm looking at health, I'm looking at reproductive health majorly. I am a female, but we have the majority of our mothers who are giving birth on their way to the hospital. And others, they just feel fed up of even going to the hospital because, number one, when you reach the hospital, they will tell you there are no medicines. Please go and buy. Others will be others on their way to the hospital, maybe to give birth. Maybe the labor pain intensifies and they end up giving birth on the way. Reason being, for one to move from one village to maybe the health center 3, it's a long way. Instead of the government wasting money in other projects which are not of greater values, why can't we focus on education? Why can't there be increased funding towards the health, towards sports, things which can benefit the country as a whole?
All right. Thank you. Let me come to you, Victor, as we edge towards the end of the show. Your party represents inclusion, economic empowerment, and financial liberation. I believe your solutions will stem on those three, will anchor on those 3 pillars that I've just mentioned. But take us away on the solutions to the problems the region is experiencing, and of course, you'll give us your concluding remarks on that too.
Well, thank you very much, our most esteemed host and our viewers. I say this without fear of contradiction that, unlike the previous speakers at the National Economic Empowerment Dialogue, we look at making sure that the youth do not just survive, but they thrive. And that is why the solutions I will give you are practical and tangible solutions, and not something that every politician always comes and says. These are things that have been sung and you could make an entire album out of it. Well, first and foremost, to address the issue of poverty, I took us back into history. And all of us here have been talking about the LRA insurgency, but it is in the past, though of course it's still affecting us. And to do away with this, we have to. There is a very urgent need for a Truth and Reconciliation Commission. We have to look the past in the face and speak the truths to as to how they are, because I told you that I grew up in an IDP camp, and when you go down there to the grassroots, people have different stories. Someone told you that the UPDF came and did this. Others will say that no, they were the LRA, but they were dressed as so there is a lot of confusion, rumor, and people are scared of talking about these things, and they don't want to face the truth in their eyes, and they live in denial. That is why we see that most of our youths are living in denial. They don't want to accept what happened and move past it. And that is why when you go to cities like Gulu, actually even now the municipalities like Kitgum, where I come from, there is now a very persistent problem of Ago. Those are the street kids who at night become robbers, sadly. Of course, when you look at it from their point of view, they're trying to survive, but at the end of the day, they're causing a lot of insecurity. And So to find practical solutions for this, first and foremost, I want us to agree that most of our youth who at least are willing to work, actually they just don't have the required knowledge and the required mentorship to economically empower them and financially liberate them. Most of the youth who I know who are really interested in getting some money resort to things like boda riding, and that's a very good thing. But at the end of the day, you realize that they're actually being exploited. For example, I don't know if you know about this, but I've engaged with a lot of bodas, and they told me their stories. Most of them don't have the money to buy a boda, but a new boda is around 5 million Ugandan shillings. But when these bodas go to buy them, they can't afford, so they resort to taking them on loans. And I can tell you that when they buy these bodas on loans, at the end of the day, that they've paid more than 12 million Ugandan shillings. So that is typical exploitation. So if I'm voted into office as the Northern Uganda Youth Member of Parliament, the most practical thing I would do is, first and foremost, I'll ask myself, where these motorcycles come from? Do they come from India? Do they come from China? I would go to the embassy and have a chat with the ambassador. Get so that I can have a conversation with the company itself. So if I can engage with the company, I'm very sure that they wouldn't be unwilling to supply the youth in the north with these motorcycles in bulk, and that would make them survive the exploitation that they're going through. Secondly, I want to look at skilling the youth, but we want to give them tailor-made skills to empower them. Yeah. For example, there are things like sim growing, as my brother earlier on mentioned. We have a lot of land that supports sim growing, and there's actually a lot of sim growing, but what happens to this sim? I can tell you that a kilogram of sim in China fetches more than 30,000 Ugandan shillings, and they're actually exporting from Uganda, but it's not from our youth down at the grassroots. It's from people, the rich people in the top government positions, and people who own very large businesses who actually don't grow this sim, but they come down to the village and they buy them very cheaply, probably at 2,000, 2,500, and then go and sell them very expensively, 30,000. So if you can find an avenue for this youth to directly export the sim, I'm very sure it would liberate them financially.
Yeah. So as you give us your concluding remarks.
Well, to conclude, I would really say that to solve all our problems as the youth of this country, we have to make sure that we really look at the issue of financial empowerment, economic empowerment, and financial liberation, and plus inclusivity, because most times our youth have been excluded from the decision-making table and from these political discussions. Actually, most of the reasons that our youth have lost hope and have resorted to drinking and drug abuse, as earlier mentioned, is because there is no one to listen to them. They don't have any say in what happens in their society, in what happens in their community. And I thank you very much, Civic Space TV, that you give youth such a platform to engage in civic discourse, because this is something that our youth don't get the chance to have. Yeah. And it gives them a lot of hope, and they would actually find that yes, not all hope is lost. There is still a chance to change something. Yeah. And then lastly, I would really encourage that our youth should be engaged in decision making, and I find it very offensive that more than 70% of the country is made of the youth, but you find that we only have 5 youth representatives in the August House. that should change, and these are one of the issues that I will raise once I'm put into the Augusta House, and I beg that I'm held accountable for this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, I appreciate. Elizabeth, your concluding remarks in 60 seconds.
Well, thank you very much. I believe that the people of northern Uganda, and specifically the youth, if we can stand and advocate for what is right and fight for our justice, I believe that we shall get to that place. And to the entire audience, those people who are watching me, the people, the Uganda People's Congress, and also other parties, I am here. I'm also ready to represent you in the parliament, and I look forward to take up that seat and be the upcoming Northern Youth Member of Parliament.
Thank you. All the best. Nobert.
Dear viewers and my fellow youth of Northern Uganda, once we understand our history, once we know who we are, and once we understand the future, one day we shall overcome the situation. In the next 5 years, as I come to represent you, I want you to be that person who stands on a national platform and proudly says that I am from Northern Region. I am a student of such and such a school. Because of what my member of parliament or my government under the PFF has provided to us is what is valuable and we have achieved in the next 5 years. I call upon my fellow youth, come 29th and 22nd of this same month, at our headquarters in Katonga. You can come and pick forms for the different positions, but I am really representing you as the Northern Youth Member of Parliament.
You don't want competition.
It's not that I do not want competition, but I encourage you to come, pick forms for the different positions. Even the presidency seat is still open for us all. As I said earlier on, I still welcome my brothers from the other political parties as well, because it is still open space. These are brilliant minds, and we believe PFF is the only and most able political party to harbor them. And my brother from the national platform, send my greetings to my fellow intelligent youth at the national platform and encourage them.
And they're still inviting them.
And encourage them to join PFF in Katonga. We shall be willing and able to support them. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Humphrey, 60 seconds.
People power, our power. Yeah, to the young people of Northern Uganda and the people of Uganda at large, this is time for you to accept and fight that there is nothing as such a government thing. Whatever we have in our country within the boundaries of Uganda belong to the people of the Republic of Uganda. And no one at whatever capacity will deprive us of them. As a member of parliament for Northern Uganda and voting Humphrey as a member of parliament for Northern Uganda and voting His Excellency, the People's President, Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu, as the President of the Republic of Uganda, 2026 to 2031, I will assure you of one thing. From the people of Northern Uganda, especially the Karamojongs, you will be assured that no one will be a minister for Karamoja affairs if the person is not a Karamojong, because you can't be our minister if you do not understand our culture, our values, and our social way of living. Secondly, if you vote for Humphrey, you will be assured of an attractive education that will improve the enrollment, that will improve on the retention at schools, that will improve on the completion. We are not just trying to look at enrolling. We need to enroll, get retained, and complete schools. You'll be assured of an affirmative action. The people of Karamoja will not compete with the students of Karamoja will not compete with the students of Ntare. Secondly, to the entire young people of northern Uganda, you will be assured of a reliable information regarding government programs, so that issues will not be addressed in Kampala, issues must be addressed back home. Okay. And to the Madi and Acholi people, we must embrace peace. To the Luru community, ensure that you vote for Humphrey. To the West Nile youth, we are voting Humphrey. We are going for the protest vote. We are bringing back what belongs to the people of northern Uganda. We are bringing back what belongs to the people of the Republic of Uganda. Vote Humphrey for the Youth MP Northern Region. And vote His Excellency, the People's President, Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu.
All right. Thank you.
People power, our power.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the animated and very interesting submissions. To you, Humphrey, to you, Nobert, for the very succinct submissions, to my sister Elizabeth for those very passionate submissions, and to my brother Victor for giving us also those very interesting insights. It's been very wonderful having all of you on the show. We enjoyed, and may the best person win. I wish you all the best. And of course, I know Northern Uganda and the Northern region will be in safe hands when any of you is in office. Otherwise, to Center for Constitutional Governance for making this possible, asante sana. And to you, our dear esteemed viewers, for always religiously following the Youth Roundtable. Today we bring you an episode that brought aspirants, some of the aspirants of the from Northern Uganda for the position of the Northern Uganda Youth MP. It's unfortunate that we have been unable to be joined by aspirants of the National Resistance Movement due to, of course, commitments they have on ground, considering that their primaries are closed. But, of course, we shall have them as well. But to the production crew, Pearl, Brittany, and Malcolm for making this possible, thank you very much. And always, I will say this once again, to you, our dear esteemed viewers, for always following. Please do subscribe. Follow us on all our socials at Civic Space TV, at CCG, for more content such as this. Otherwise, my name is Douglas Onen. See you next week, same time, same place. Bye-bye.